Then a guy walks in the bar and says to me,
So, so as I was saying to the Duchess only yesterday.
Hey man, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Get Off My Lawn. I am Al the Geek. I'm here with Captain Xavier, our usual bi-weekly live stream where we talk about all things foam flinging or otherwise that kind of aggravates or annoys us. Why? Because we're two grumpy old men. As always, we are part of the World Foam Alliance. Be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button right there. Also, if you haven't registered, go to worldfoamalliance.org. Make sure to register. The purpose of the World Foam Alliance is basically to connect everybody, but the way to connect people is we got to know where you are. If we don't know where you are, then we can't actually tell people where to find you. But if you go and register on the website, and especially if you have your community, if you have a group already, make sure your admin has gone and registered as well so we can find you and therefore continue the connection process. Other than that, I think we're good. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to ask questions. And today, actually, we do have a special guest. He will be joining us hopefully between 8:30 and 9, depending when he gets here. And also, as long as we actually stop talking long enough to remember that we have a guest. But we will actually have Boomstick Mods, who will be joining us today. And Boomstick, he's from Maryland, and he's also one of the major admins and backers for Maryland Mayhem. So you can probably guess what we're going to talk about. It's going to be Maryland Mayhem. And again, if you haven't registered for that, make sure to go to the marylandfoamalliance.org. Make sure to buy a ticket. And when I say buy a ticket, it is free. It doesn't cost you anything, but that's way we can track how many people are going. Also, that's your waiver process. So again, if you're planning on going to Maryland Mayhem, buy the ticket now. Buy. It's $0, but it says buy ticket. But be sure to buy the ticket and find out about it. I think that's what we got now. But as always, it's not just my show. It's myself and Captain Xavier. And so here we go. Captain Xavier, man, how you doing, buddy?
I'm registering for Maryland Mayhem because apparently I'm going and I should probably have a ticket. I'll deal with that. Yeah, Maryland Mayhem, first big event of the year. I am looking forward to it. I only just found out that it's Wild West themed, and I just today published my Wild West loadout, my cowboy loadout. I did not, in fact, build that for Maryland Mayhem. I started building it like a year ago, long before Maryland Mayhem decided to make that their theme. So it just happened to work out perfectly because now I have a cowboy loadout to show up with. So, and it won't be a bad HVZ loadout. It's 2 Ultra 2s and 2 hammer shots and a shotgun. It's a perfectly acceptable HVZ loadout. It occurred to me after I did that video that I actually can't use the slab or my sling fire because they both hit well above the FPS limit. I could try to lower the FPS, but I think I'll just go with pistols. Hopefully I'll be dead by noon.
You could be a rebel and just go with a unmodified sling fire. You'll be dead by 9:30.
Yeah. I did consider just going with a sling fire because Maryland Mayhem often has the low ammunition cap at the beginning of the event. So if I was running sling fire with 6-round mags, but honestly, I'd rather be dual wielding 6-round hammer shots. So yeah. So what are you gonna run? What do you got?
That is a good question. I am still deciding because it is a Wild West loadout. So I have thought about doing that. Minus the Wild West loadout, I thought about just because I finally got him running one of my FDLs just because I can. But then it's like, all right, do I go Wild West? But at the same token, do I run one of my master keys for fun as well? So it's going to be something. It's going to be fun. And then maybe I run something in the morning and then change out something later. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do.
Yeah, FDL, I mean, that's my usual primary for HVZ because there still isn't a better blaster, in my opinion. There's some contenders, but they're not quite as good yet. And I think that's largely because they're all in their first iteration, whereas the FDL3 was the third iteration of that platform. And so they had worked out all of the bugs and really built a solid platform. I'd love to see what like the SBF3 looks like.
It should be a monster. So yeah,
it should be.
That's kind of where I'm at. But I think also it might depend. So a couple of things too is well, I do not have a crew I run with, but I do have buddies and that we usually run with. So I think depending on who I end up running with, an example is I have two of my like childhood friends. One, he's actually I think like my third or fourth cousin, and we've known each other since birth, and we got to know each other when we were teenagers. He might be coming down. Plus, also one of my best friends who we met in ninth grade religion class of all places, and we were in each other's wedding party, and he's also been one of my best friends my whole life. So the two of them might be coming down as well. Now, for the while, I was the biggest guy, and now I'm the smallest of the three. So I may be having to load up to compensate for mobility issues.
Yeah, I usually for the big events, I do a call out for the auxiliary and try to bring as many crew as I can. But for various reasons, none of the crew are available for this one, and a fair number of the auxiliary chose. They also had to choose which events they're going to go to, and a bunch of them chose the Pennsylvania Survival Fest as their big event for the spring. Um, but obviously, being a part of the Mega XLs and other things, I wanted to go to Maryland. And so, yeah, it'll be
So does that
interesting running
mean?
as a mook human again. Been a long
So
time
does
since
that
I did
mean?
that.
No kidding. But do you want to run then with us large old guys?
I
You
might
fit
I
right
might
in.
run with you. There's another squad that's has extended the offer. The N7s who usually run with the auxiliary are coming over for Maryland. And so I might run with them, but I think they're probably planning to run a little more tactical than I'm planning to run this event. So I might just go with you guys so I can just stick to a tactical mosey the whole time. Um, Die
We
early and be
are.
a cowboy zombie for the rest of the day.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Even though we're large and in charge, had to do that one. But even though we're large and in charge, we have a knack of surviving way longer than you think. Anthony, he's only done a couple, but he's always, well, besides the first one in Rochester, but after that, he's always made it to the final battle. So
Hmm.
part of it is we are slow, but we ain't stupid. So I think
Hmm.
that's what helps.
It definitely helps. Um, Not, you know, they get you when you're running and you're not paying close enough attention. At least that's my
Correct.
theory.
No, I think I like that.
So
I
yeah,
think
I'm not
within
doing
the
nearly
group.
as much. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, dude.
I was saying I'm doing a lot less travel this year than I did the last 2 years, both for sanity reasons and financial reasons. Um, so I had to pick which events I wanted to go to. Maryland Mayhem made the list. I was really tempted to do Survival Fest, but I had another trip, a family event show up that's going to end up preventing me from going to that one. And then I do still plan to do Mall Madness. And Mall Madness I do plan to do as a full deployment, just because that's such an amazing event. So
All right,
you
so
were
then you
you were
won't
going
be
to
able
say?
to. No, I was gonna. So well, no, I moved on now because I saw shiny thing.
No,
So then you
Shiny.
can't make it to. Yeah, what? You can't make it to Survival Fest then, correct?
Sadly, no. Yeah.
That's okay. Family events come first. We support that 100%. Speaking of family events, I was talking to one Maritime Foam today, and we were both discussing schedules and ability and what we all want to come out to. So I think, and again, it'll probably be in the fall. We may plan another adventure way on the other side of the country, but then we can talk about that. Where again, Anthony and I invade the Pacific Northwest if you'll have us again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The That's actually what I plan to focus on more this year is the local scene. I've got a whole bunch of upgrades I'm finally doing to the makers to the arena. We play tested the basic idea of the changes I wanted to make, and they were well received. So I'm acquiring the materials to do some serious upgrades out there. I'm hoping to finally get the maker space to a point where I can actually start hosting events and doing build days and stuff like that. We're getting the local competitive club finally really truly up and going. We started it last year, but it was mostly very casual, just getting together and playing casual competitive style games, but not actually having set teams that are training, specifically to go to tournaments. And we're starting to lean a little bit towards that more, largely because King of Games, Kale, moved up here, and I don't think he would allow us to not do that. Um,
Probably not.
we've got the Borst stuff, our usual Borst Wars that we host once a month. We're also trying to encourage additional events because we've outgrown the location that we hold Fort Borst at. And if we get any bigger, and we haven't shown any signs of getting any smaller, it's going to start being a problem. So we're trying to get some games going down in the Portland area, get a club going down there so the people in the Portland area can go to that event. Kale's up closer to the Seattle area, so we're trying to find a venue up there where they can host regular events, and spread it out more so that instead of doing Borst once a month, we might do it every other month or one every 3 months and have that be the big event that everyone comes to, whereas the little monthly events would then be held in various locations and break it up a little bit. So, yeah.
I think that's a great idea. So you know what then? Since we'll see if we can coordinate it. If depending on your progress and how it goes, even if you open it beforehand, and we can talk about this, won't make it official. Maybe we'll do like a makerspace grand opening at your place where we have like myself and Maritime Foam and possibly other members of the World Foam Alliance as well. But that we don't have to set in stone. But you heard it here first. Too bad you don't live in the Pacific Northwest. Sell your house and move there now because this might happen. And no, Cap is not looking for roommates, so find your own place to live.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We were gearing up for a lot of this back in early 2020, and then it all got derailed, and we're finally getting back to that. There's big stuff happening. We've got a fair number of competitive players up here. They go to the competitions at like Ragnar Oktoberfest, and if they are able to make it to any of the other big events, they tend to go to that. Rag is the big one because it's the closest to us. It's the only West Coast event. But we're hoping we'll probably have a couple of teams, possibly by Rag. We'll see. At least one for sure. Kale is in charge of Nebula, but they're spread out all over the place. So we'll see if he starts recruiting people locally for a Pacific Northwest Nebula team.
I think by doing it this way, where you're breaking it up and putting more focus on the smaller clubs, you're also expanding the network and the reach in your area there. And I think what you're doing is setting the groundwork for an event like Maryland Mayhem that might therefore transpire out in your neck of the woods, which would be fantastic considering the talent you guys have, just the venues and options and the people. So, I mean, Rag is great, but obviously Rag is more Southern, whereas you guys can really, there's the potential to put together, like also, much like Mayhem, another great event in the Pacific Northwest as well.
That is the long-term goal. We're not sure how long-term it is. Groundwork is slowly being laid to be able to do something on that scale. Obviously, the biggest issue is venue. That's always the biggest issue because we obviously can't host it in my backyard for an event that big. There's a couple of places that we've looked at, obviously college campuses because UW does do HVZ, Evergreen College does HVZ, WWU does HVZ. So those are some potential locations if we can talk to them into it. Obviously, one of the big issues is transportation. We want to be fairly close to one of the airports, which is either going to be SeaTac or PDX. So it's going to need to be in either the Portland, Vancouver area or the SeaTac larger area because otherwise you're driving, hours away from the airport to try to get to the venue. But we'll see what we can manage. But that is something that is absolutely on our radar to eventually be able to host a big HVZ or a convention. Because, yeah, like you said, we've got myself, Dr. Flux, Walcom, Out of Darts, Silver Fox, X-Fox, Luchathor. We've got a ridiculous number of big names up here. And most of those are...
No, he's down in California. No, Brett's down in California now.
Brett moved down to California, but King of Games moved up here. So
yep,
we picked him up.
It's like it was an exchange. We'll give you Brett, but we'll take Kale.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, which reminds me, we're going to do a new Kickstarter. Kickstarter is please donate money, raise funds. What we're going to do is buy out all of Captain X's neighbors, level their houses, so that'll be the next playing field, and we'll put in a helipad. So hashtag buy out Captain Xavier's neighborhood so we can have a large venue. We accept cash and checks.
If I had the money, I would buy the house that's directly next to me in a heartbeat. for a variety of reasons. But yeah, if I could slowly but surely buy up this entire block and turn some of the buildings into CQB arenas and some of it into housing, I would absolutely turn this into a Nerf compound, more so than it already is.
And soon Vader will not be a town. Vader is just going to be Captain X's compound. Population 1.
Yep.
Oh, Mega Millions
someone in the
Powerball.
comments asked, "Is this a call-in show?" Yes, this is always a call-in show. This will never not be a call-in show. You are free to call in. Like what? There's a number and everything that I can't remember. It's like 979-500 something.
I know for sure it is not 911. It is not 411.
I got the
There's the number.
I got the first 6 numbers right. 979-500 2794.
So let's do that. Let's have someone call in,
and we will give you grief. We will give you guff and snark. That's the word I'm looking for.
That's a good word, and that way that'll give us a good warm up. We'll unleash on someone like that, let them vent, and then we will bring on Boomstick Mods. So call in, take the brunt of it. Neil will appreciate it that we actually kick you off our lawn, and that way it clears the way for him. If you can warm it up and clean it up a little bit as well. I think we had a dog come through and poop on it, but I cannot neither confirm nor deny. So
he's watering. Maybe mow it.
That's
Trim
right.
The edges. Get one of those trimmers.
Please fertilize it. Oh yeah. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share as well. Share, like, share. Did I mention sharing and liking and sharing and sharing and liking? Yeah.
Surely there's more people out there that want to listen to a couple of old nerds talk about Nerf.
Seriously, like, come on, man. Like, we're cool people. And even if we aren't, too bad. In my mind, I'm convinced, so it doesn't matter what you say. So just go with it. So yes, we are cool old nerds. So yes, share so other people can listen to us.
We are proof you don't actually have to grow up. It's all been a lie.
Working for us, man.
Hello? Are you here? Who are you? What do you want? Yeah.
Oh, we might have a caller.
I got the thing that popped up. Apparently I can let people in now. I don't want these buttons. I have too many buttons at work.
That's too much power.
Oh, hello?
Hey, it's Paul Mando calling from Eastern Canada. I'm a repeat caller. Thanks for posting that number up.
What do you want?
There we go. What's going on, brother?
Well, I do have a question for Captain Xavier. Our group has been hosting events, and your game theory videos have been invaluable on setting up and attempting to balance games. So thank you very much for those. My question for you is, when playing Juggernaut mode, how does the team take control of the Juggernaut?
So the way that we did it the last time we played, which was at Fort Flagler, I believe, I was the Juggernaut. I had the minigun and all that, and I had a pie pan on my chest and on my back. And if you hit the pie pan, I was stunned for a couple of seconds, and whichever team was able to get up and physically touch me while I was stunned, I then joined their team and would attack the other team. Go ahead.
Or no, you finish, please.
Yeah, so then once I was on that team, I would attack the other team, but I was also moving towards the enemy team's flag location. And if I got all the way to the flag location, then that team lost. So that was how we were playing Juggernaut.
Okay, I really appreciate that. We'll give that a try. That'll work well with maybe Mando mode in our games. And we do have some bigger blasters that are a little too big to put on either side, but would suit a Juggernaut. So that's very, very helpful. And thank you again for all your videos and all the disassembly videos. Our group is really making great use of those. So thank you so much.
Excellent. You're welcome. That is why I do them.
Wait, I have a question for him, though.
What do you want? Yeah.
Are you coming to Maryland Mayhem? There's only one answer to this, by the way. So I hope you prep it correctly.
I've been friends with Maritime for a while, and we've talked about it, and I'm not sure if I can swing it this year, but it sounds like he might be coming up with some of my custom-made tactical gear. So hopefully you guys can get a look at that.
Nice.
Dude, that'd be awesome. If you have extra stuff, send it with them. And just because it is a great collection of everyone in our hobby. And so it won't take much to sell them. So if you got extra, load them up, man, and I'm sure they will sell. And it's good promotion as well. So definitely do that. if you can.
Well, frankly, if either of you two gentlemen are interested in some tactical gear, my specialty is bright colors. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, and I think we can work something out.
Oh, ping me now. I'm always down for brightly colored gear. There is not.
Will do, Captain.
One of the reasons I went with orange is it's one of the few things you can get tactical gear in, and there still isn't enough of it.
The truth is, Captain, my inspiration on the color actually came from you and watching you say how, hey, it's not cool to wear all black at these things because sometimes that gives the wrong impression. And I thought, wow, he's really got a point. So now I'm wearing all blue, and the rest of my club is wearing different colors, and Maritime's got his blue and orange. So we're slowly working our way through, but my goal is to get it into the hands of the community.
Excellent. Awesome. By all means, awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. Send me, let's talk. All right. Get off my lawn.
I'm going to do it. Yeah, I think I'm going to hit him up as well. Mine is black and yellow just because of hazard. And let's face it, I am a walking hazard, so it is kind of fitting. But that's awesome. One more
caller already. Let's take another call. There needs to be more.
Hey, this is Captain Shotgun again.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
I have a couple questions about I want to host a charity event. I was just wondering how y'all would recommend doing that.
So
you need a man behind the curtain.
You need a man behind the curtain, yeah. Depends on the nature of it. I mean, are you wanting to do like a charity live stream? Or are you wanting to do a Nerf war where people donate, where there's what? Man behind the curtain. Yeah, partner with the World Foam Alliance. We're actually working to do that. That's one of the many perks of the World Foam Alliance. Is we've got a lot of infrastructure and a lot of experience with how to do that. So by all means, reach out to who should they reach out to? Man behind the curtain? Hello?
Yeah, probably. Reach out to don't we have like an info at worldfoamalliance.com? Oh, yeah. Discord. Yes.
Join
World
the
Foam Alliance Discord.
Join the World Foam Alliance Discord and ask there, and somebody ping the mods or something, and someone will get in touch with you.
Yes.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah. I can give you all the advice you could need. Tools and stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to do that.
Awesome. Cool. Look forward to it.
I also wanted to ask,
help. What?
Is there any chance that we will ever get Anthony from Maritime Foam, Malcolm S7, or Luke from Outer Darts on this stream?
Well, we've had Anthony a couple times already.
We've had Walcom as well. Again.
And we've had Walcom as well.
I do need to. I can't believe we haven't dragged out of darts onto this. I should just go kick his door in one Thursday and or one of these Wednesdays. Just we're on the stream. He is a very busy man.
That's why, because we reached out, but he's a busy dude, and we haven't pushed too much. But I think you're right. Well, we'll kick in his door and politely drag him out.
Thursday evening or Tuesday. What day is it? Wednesday. Wednesday is not a good day for him apparently. But someday, maybe.
But Maritime Foam we had twice already.
Yeah, he's actually been out to my place. It was loads of fun. And Walcom, wasn't Walcom one of the early ones?
Yes, he was. That was a great show too.
Yeah. He was going to be here today, or we invited him, but he was busy. I don't know what he's doing. He's also much busier now. He's up and doing great stuff. It's cool.
That is fantastic.
Being assaulted by my cat.
Probably. So I think at this point, well, first, get off my lawn, and that's. Oh, by the way, I am at my secret compound in Canada, aka my parents' basement, visiting family. So that's why I am in a location that does not look like normal or all the geek stuff behind me. So yeah, I am at the secret Canadian bunker where actually, I grew up in this house. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Wait, before we kick you off, any more? Is he gone?
Oh, no, he's gone now.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But good question. Yeah. Yes, excellent question about charity. Yes, the World Foam Alliance, one of the many perks of becoming a member of the World Foam Alliance is help with things like charities. They've got experience, they've got tools, they've got ways to help with all of that. It's one of the many goals is to help clubs and to help people be able to do that. Either to help raise funds for their local club or just for a charity if there's a charity they want to sponsor.
Absolutely. So I think at this point, Without further ado, we will have our guest, and you may know him, you may not know him. Either way, you're going to know him now. His name is Neil. He is Boomstick Mods. He is also part of the Maryland Foam Alliance and also one of the backers and creators of Maryland Mayhem. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. We have Neil, Boomstick Mods, in with us today.
Yo.
Hello.
What's going on, Neil? How are you, buddy?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Working on lots of Maryland Mayhem stuff. That has been the majority of my time lately. Has just been prepping for Maryland Mayhem.
What is that? Is that like a big event or something? Are you like in charge of that? Don't these things just magically happen? What do you mean, man?
Maryland Mayhem is a international event, actually, because we have people even coming from other countries. Even last year, we had people from other countries come. So it's actually an international event in the hobby. And we get together, and it's a 3-day event. If I could stop bumping my camera, that would be fantastic. It's a 3-day event where on Friday we have the Maryland Foam Tournament, where we have 18 teams coming together to compete for the trophy, the Maryland Foam Tournament trophy. And that's going to be a ton of fun. We've already got all 18 teams registered and set. And it's going to be, it was an insane time last year. It's probably going to be an even more insane time this year, just with the incredibly excellent players that are coming out to play on the field. I'm very excited. We even got the Singaporeans out coming to Maryland Foam Tournament running under Nebula International, which that's going to be awesome. And then on Saturday, we've got the UMBC HEZ Invitational. That's been around for a long time now, but it's a humans versus zombies on the UMBC campus, where obviously it's invitational, where they open it up to pretty much anyone can show up, 12 and up, obviously, can show up and play humans versus zombies. That's another nice, exhausting time where you're on your feet all day, running up and down stairs of UMBC because they built it on a hill. And then after all,
hill being the operative word. I cut my HBC chops on the Rocky Mountains, man. Come play at WSU. We'll talk about hills. Anyway.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. And then after all that exciting and exhausting time, we get to end the weekend with the 11th hour Blaster Battle and BlasterCon, which this year is going to be indoors. So we don't have to worry about weather. Captain Xavier experienced the weather of that 2 years ago.
Gobs
and
of
we just
fun.
got
Felt
rained
like
on. And then we moved the convention that we had last year from the Maryland Foam Tournament to 11th hour. So that's now on Sunday. So that's our casual foam flinging event and our convention, all kind of like on the last day. It's a nice, relaxing time of fun. Obviously, some people will probably still go hard on the field just because that's how they play, but people get to kind of run at their own pace that day. And it's an insanely good time, and I'm very excited for this year. And working on these badges for my the people who I've run with HVZ before. Obviously, Maritime Foam, I made one for him last year. It's usually a single ID badge that you hand off to the zombie after they tagged you. But so many of my players were asking me to print them too, that I worked with one of my local players who had like these little separatable ID badges. And so what I did is it now comes in 2 pieces, one that the player keeps, and then the other one that they give to the zombie.
Wherever
Dude, cool
did you get
that?
that idea?
In my defense, I've been doing this for a couple years now. And having 2 is a new one. That's new to this year. But I started doing ID badges 2 years ago. But yes, because you do 2 dog tags.
Yep.
Yeah, which
Dog
is also
tags, one for you and one for the zombie that kills you.
I have 3.
Nice.
2 from One from last year, two from the year before that. Yeah, I have a nice little collection.
Cool.
Try to grab at least one every year.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to try to get one of those because those are cool. It's just fun when people drop
isn't done
loot,
printing yet. Oh
Dude,
yeah,
I love that.
and it's a nice little
I didn't lose
memento.
mine last year just because I didn't make it. Well, because by the morning I was burnt out and left, so I kind of survived. But this is also why this year I'm staying on site and not driving all the way back home again. Because someone's going to kill me and take it, and I'm good with that.
Yep. I think the only time I've managed to make it back with both my dog tags was Mall Madness this year, because we actually escaped. We survived.
Yeah, that's right. I heard about that.
Yep. We were the only squad that completed all first and secondary objectives, and we chose to take the win.
Nice.
This year, I am definitely planning to die on the field.
That's all part of the fun.
See, one of these days, I want to not make it to the final stand of Mall Madness, because then I get to play one of those wacky super zombies that get more powerful every time you tag somebody. I've never gotten to do that. I've only ever been on the last stand, and you're like, well, yeah, but yeah,
that was actually one of my favorite parts of RAG is when we got to the final stand. We got to a bunch of different zombies got to play as special zombies for the final battle, because there was a smaller amount of us for the final stand, and so a bunch of us were like, "Hey, you want to be a special zombie? Here you go." That was just a ton of fun.
You get to be a special zombie, and you get to be a special zombie. Yeah, the only reason that the humans lasted anywhere near as long as they did is we had a bunch of people that were only running Mega, and so they were able to take out those super zombies, and it definitely saved us more than once.
Oh yeah, there was only 2 Spring Thunders at RAG, and they were both on the same team. So I ended up giving all of my Mega shells that I had brought with me to the one Spring Thunder user, and then they gave me all of their rival and dart shells. And so, like, all right, you are just Mega, you are handling all specials. I will cover the rest.
It was good.
It worked out beautifully. Fun times. I'm going back. I'm so excited.
RAG is an excellent event. It's also one that's high on my list. I don't know if I'll make it this year, but there's a good chance that I will get drug out of my bed in the middle of the night with the squad that's going down. If I try not to, they'll just load me in the back of the trailer and say, "Deal with it." No.
They're gonna put a hood over your head as well.
And
yeah, they'll just black bag me. I'll wake up in California. Like, where?
Where am I? How'd I get here? Who is this? So then, you know what? Actually, Captain Xavier and I were talking about this in terms of loadouts for Maryland Mayhem. I'm on the fence for some of them. And I've already said this once, so I'm sure someone's going to call me out for it. But I still think I'm going to do it. It's just whether I play with it or not. But I think I will have some kind of blaster with me that when I get tagged, not only do you get the name tag, but you get one of my creations as well.
I will get zombied early just so I can hunt you for that. I might be going OZ, man.
Man.
Then my whole squad turns on me in the first mission. 10 minutes in, Al's dead. What the hell, man? I would have made it for you anyways. Come on.
Oh, that's great. Talk about dropping loot.
Yeah.
I think it'll depend on we'll figure out logistics, but I think the size of what I give away will depend on how big the group is I run, and if there's relative safety. If I know I'm toasting the first mission, then it's not going to be something super giant.
Yeah. A painted jolt. Better yet, here's what you need to do. Have an increasingly fancy blaster for every mission you survive. So it starts out, it's a jolt. If you make it to mission 2, it's a revolver of some kind. If you make it to mission 3, it's something a little bit fancy. And if you make it all the way to the final stand, then it's one of your big ones.
So you know what? Here's a question, and I've thought about this, and not for fairness and stuff like that, survivability, but let's make it fun. How about for each mission, if this is allowed in the rule books or how we name it to happen. Whereas at every mission, I start off with whatever painted one I'm going to use. You know what I mean? And then ultimately, that first mission, I will somehow die, and then whoever gets me gets the blaster I have. Next mission, I'm reincarnated back again, and now I have a bigger blaster. And again, I run the entire mission, try to survive as far as I can. In the end, if I'm still somehow standing, we'll just have a big circle, and whoever gets to me first gets it. So I guess it's not so much that I get to play all day, but then it turns my existence special player instead of special zombie, where every mission, as we get to the final stand, what I give away is bigger and bigger until the final one.
You could probably talk him into that.
He's not saying no, and he's not saying yes yet. I think his wheels are turning like, how do I make this work?
I have no say in the HEZ. My job is strictly related to Maryland Foam Tournament and 11th Hour. The UMBC part, I have nothing to do with that. Not nothing. We're helping. We are helping the UMBC crew in the morning for like blaster checks, and we're setting up the safety zone, and we're doing a couple of other things. But like as far as like how the game is run and how like the rules are for UMBC, I have no part in that. I don't want any part of it. I have enough work.
All right, fair enough. I will figure out how to reach out to it. Meanwhile, in the comments, if y'all didn't catch that, so the idea being is keep Al the Geek alive for the whole thing, but he dies every mission and then drops a bigger and bigger blaster to the end.
You could just make it a just straight up bribe. Tell the zombie you can either take the tag or take the blaster.
We could do it that way. Part of it is it's an extra an extra level to make it more fun. You know what I mean? And also give promotion for the actual event. Like for me, it's not because I survived into the final. No, whatever, man. It's just a fun opportunity, and also entices people to be zombies. And it'll be a definite target on my ass all day, where people will they skip everybody else. Let's go find Al and see what he's going to drop this round. But I am happy to throw that out there, and I guess we still have a month to figure that out as a possibility.
Yeah.
So
definitely reach out to the mods, because if they can put that in as an advertising thing of, hunt Al the Geek, he drops loot every mission. I doubt they would have an issue with that. They might be willing to, because I mean they might even be able to work it into the Wild West thing as a bounty.
Yep.
An extra mission for the zombies, a special mission or just special thing. Yeah, I'd be surprised if they weren't game for that, but you'd need to talk to the HVZ mods. But go for it.
I think we're gonna go for that. Do you want to be in on that as well?
Me? That's what you're with me for.
Because
I'll be part of it. I'll try to defend you.
There we go.
Die.
This is the angle.
If I turn into a zombie, I am hunting you like you killed my brother.
So let's go to the comments. What do y'all think about that? Every mission I die and I drop a one of my creations, but then just to be reincarnated for the next one and drop another one as we keep going. So thoughts, questions, concerns, call me crazy or think that's awesome. Let's see what the chat says about it. Or if you want to call in, and make a comment about it, if we actually have a moderator in the chat and wants to chew me out and say, no, that's not fair, or that's a great idea.
We've spent so much time designing this, and now you're just making stuff up.
Now you're ruining it.
I could see them going to that. It's like, no, please, for the love of God, don't make us try to wrangle another thing. If you really want to give stuff away, do it in the war on Sunday. Everyone who tags you gets the blaster you're carrying when you die.
It's by Sunday. I'd be out of everything I have by lunchtime.
Well, just don't play very many rounds.
Yeah, one round hit by 27 people. Now I'm broken.
Man, Al hasn't left the safety area yet.
Someone in the comments said that they got asked today why they don't just airsoft. My standard reply when someone asks me why you don't just do airsoft is because airsofters ask that question. It's the people. That's what it's come down to. I've done airsoft and I've played with some decent folk, but I've played with a lot of unpleasant folk. It's just not the culture of goofy nerds playing with toys that I want to be around. I also like how much you can tinker with Nerf and how much variety there is in Nerf. There's LARPs, there's HVZ, there's public wars, there's private wars, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with HVZ. And I can do it in places that I can't do airsoft. I can't airsoft on, Fort Flagler. I can't airsoft on a public campus. I can't, airsoft in a gymnasium in England. I've airsoft. I've nerfed in all those places.
Interesting enough, this past weekend at AwesomeCon, I can't tell you how many airsofters I had come by, but there were a couple of hardcore ones, but they were still pretty good. I didn't get one of those. I think I got one of those guys, and he got excused pretty quickly. But there were many people looking for opportunities that did paintball and airsoft. And then when I described what we did, it was suddenly like, this sounds so much better. I said, understand this. I said, when it comes to foam flinging, it is competitive enough where it's interesting, but not enough where suddenly it becomes an ego. Meaning you'll have guys in full-on tactical gears facing off a guy in a pink bunny suit, and it's perfectly acceptable. And everyone's reaction to that is, I freaking love that. I said, well, now you know why we do it, man, because that's it. That's exactly what it is.
For some people, what they're looking for, they're only going to get out of airsoft. They want that hyper competitive. They want it. I shudder to call airsoft more realistic because it's a plastic BB gun. It holds tens of thousands of times more ammo than you should ever be able to actually carry. They're all silent. There's all sorts of things about airsoft that's just as goofy, and it's still a toy. But there's aspects of it that you're not going to get in Nerf. You're not going to get the same amount of range. You're not going to get the same amount of a ridiculous high rate of fire in most cases with the same range. So for some reason, if that's what you're looking for, then airsoft is where you should be. Similarly, if you want to do the super, super, super high speed, highly competitive stuff, paintball is probably more what you're looking for, because that's a completely different game. Some of what we do in competitive Nerf is similar to both of those, because there is milsim stuff that uses Nerf, and there are competitive stuff in Nerf. But they tend to be on a different level, and it's the nature of it. That's what we do as opposed to that. There's places that we can play Nerf that you couldn't do airsoft or paintball because there's enough room. Those things tend to require a lot more space. Whereas we can get away with a remarkably small space in Nerf if we go with the lower powered blasters, which is a huge advantage people can build arenas in a building in a mall that you'd never have enough room to airsoft or paintball in. But you can Nerf in something that small. You can Nerf in a gymnasium. You generally wouldn't be able to do either airsoft or paintball. It's just not big enough. And the problem with, again, with airsoft and paintball is you need a dedicated arena. You have to have a specific place. This is an airsoft arena. This is a paintball arena, because the ammo for both of those causes problems that we, again, don't have in Nerf. And that makes those sports a lot more expensive. In addition to the equipment is a lot more expensive in general, and you don't get to reuse your ammunition. But yeah, there's lots of advantages and disadvantages to Nerf.
It's it's very telling. Oh, go ahead.
Another big thing that I was just gonna say, another big thing missing from the airsoft community is the whole create your own blaster thing, and not even just 3D printed blasters, which airsoft doesn't really have as far as I know, but also even before then, when they were making blasters out of PVC and wood and whatnot, things like that just don't really exist in the airsoft space. And so much of our hobby, especially with the rise of 3D printing, has been shaped by designing and building your own blasters, or printing a blaster that somebody else designed, or buying a 3D printed kit already. But we're as reliant on the first party companies. Now, obviously, it's great when first party companies make things that is useful to our hobby. But our hobby is also this doesn't exist. Fine, I'll do it myself.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yes, I love the tinkering aspect of it. I love people, pushing the things to the max. What rate of fire can I get? What FPS can I get? How accurate can I get? But also doing, how silly can I get? How ridiculous can I get? How much more powerful can I get? Some of the stuff that I've built, my biggest and most, fancy blasters aren't particularly practical. Like my minigun is a horrifically impractical thing to ever try to use. I would never use it in a competitive game. I wouldn't want to pack that around in an HVZ. I'd feel like a schmuck bringing that to a war. But it's fabulous. Same thing with the smart gun.
It's glorious. I will do it for you.
Yeah, the smart gun is similarly. That one I actually could use at a Nerf, like an HVZ, as far as practicality, because it has the Steadicam arm. It's very well balanced and all of that. But I would never take that into public. The thing is ridiculous. But it's fun. And there are lots of things that people have done. You're like, oh, I've built a blaster that hits 500 FPS. And you're like, right, but where can you use that? Nowhere. I just wanted to see if I could do it. And that's perfectly legit. There is nothing wrong with tinkering for the sake of tinkering, building something for the sake of building it so that you can say, I have this. This is a thing. But I love how much the third party, even the first and third party companies draw from us, from what we have built, what we have designed. The Swift and the Mark IV are just Caliburns. There's just no two ways about it. Those blasters exist because of all the experimentation and the iterations and all of that, all the R&D that we did around Caliburns, tweaking it and figuring out what's the best way to do this. Yeah. And now we've got injection molded ones. And then things like the Talon Claw, well, then they came out with, okay, there's third-party versions of those now, and I'm hoping eventually someone will give me an injection molded pew-pew, but I'm not holding my breath.
One day it'll happen. Well, interesting enough, so when it comes to the whole airsoft question, so again, at AwesomeCon this past weekend, we did have the Marine Corps that was there for people to enroll and enlist. And they came by my booth, and they came also by the Dart Zone booth. And the thing is, when I told them about foam flinging, you can see on the guy's face right away where it's like, is this like airsoft? I said, nah, dude, we don't take it serious enough, man. I tell people, if you're that serious, go enlist, man. We're much less. So actually, to give you a heads up, Neil, we might have a whole platoon of Marines showing up to Maryland events. So we might be in trouble, but it's going to be a lot of fun, man.
We've gotten people from the sports around us before. They're really awesome guys. They're a lot of fun.
Oh my God, they are. And then the other thing is, I've had so many people ask me, "It's like, do you do airsoft?" I'm like, well, what am I going to do with the airsoft gun, man? I don't. I'm sure I can paint it, but I think that's the extent of it. I guess to figure out how to combine them, but it's just not that many things I feel like I can do with them, which is why I haven't even dabbled in it. Whereas obviously with the foam flinging blasters, there is so much you can do with it, and it's just so much of a different platform to have so much more fun with. Now, maybe I just didn't give airsoft a fair shake. Fair enough, but right now, I do not get the same inspiration or some of the big ridiculous things that we can make as a result of it. But that's my opinion. Yeah. And that's why I don't airsoft. Yep. And his running and his little BBs. And it's like, yeah, whatever, man. We're not going to do it that seriously. Yeah, forget that, man. But I guess the other thing is getting back to Maryland Mayhem for the tournament that's happening on Friday. For those in the chat that are watching and for those that are listening, and then also for Neil, Team Mega Double XL, which if you don't know who's on that one, that's myself, Captain Xavier, Maritime Foam, one Trey Devil, one Nerf Dog, one Nate, also known as Wolfguard, and also one Sophie Lightning. We all decided on jerseys. Now, some of us, and it's funny looking at our size list, there's a medium, a large, double X, 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 double X down. So instead of pretty skinny professional jerseys, because we want to look professional, but we're not going to take ourselves that seriously. Plus, on top of that, considering myself and Anthony grew up in Canada, we're getting hockey jerseys, and it has been confirmed. We put the order in, and we are getting Mega Double XL hockey jerseys that we're wearing for the tournament. So even if we get schooled or spanked, it doesn't matter. We're going to look good.
We're going to look good.
It's going to be freaking awesome. And I don't care if we're out in the first round, man, because I got my double XL hockey jersey.
You are guaranteed at least.
Last time. The fact that we made it to the second round last time just annoys me to no end. Who signed up?
You're
that
guaranteed at least 3 matches in the group stage.
How dare you, sir? We're supposed to be done so we can go get ice cream.
It is true. Well, I think when we did it last year, and the big reason is because Maritime Foam, Anthony wanted to do it and asked me, and I said, all right, fine. Because his whole thing is if you're going to go to an event, man, he's going to experience the whole thing, which I'm glad he does because he drags us with it. And it is true. You get to have the fun with it. But I was always worried. It's like as many teams practice and are much more competitive, it's like, yes, we're a little bit lighthearted, but we are going to approach this professionally enough where we're not going to make a farce out of it. We're going to have fun with it, but at the same time, be competitive. And what I love is the fact, and again, this is just testament to what the community's about. We were received with open arms, I feel like, and I think we even had like quite the cult following because suddenly we were the underdogs, and we actually were trying, and not obviously we made it fun and started yelling a lot, but we're old dudes, so we can do that.
Yeah, we were the only team that had a battle cry, which was, of course, "Get off my lawn."
Absolutely.
We were definitely the fan favorite. There was no question that they were just enjoying our being silly.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Speaking of MFT, actually. Speaking of MFT, this is actually a good time to plug the fact that next week, March 20th, Andrew and myself, and potentially one other Maryland Foam Alliance admin, we will be doing the Maryland Foam Tournament rules live stream, where we go over all the rules, we answer questions. This is essentially our rules briefing for MFT. To save time the day of, we're requiring people to watch the live stream, at least the rules portion. And then after the rules, we'll be doing our random drawing, where teams will be drawn and placed into a random bracket. And that's going to decide who they're playing, when they're playing them, and everything like that for the group stage. And then after that, we'll be doing a section for Meet the Teams, where we're going to have a bunch of the team captains come on, introduce their team, say a little bit about themselves, and kind of go through all the teams that we have. And we've gotten quite a few of the team captains to respond back. So you should see most of them. Like I was actually just today working on the bracket that we're going to be setting up for the group stage. So then nothing super top secret, just standard. Yeah, that's literally, I'm going to be printing out 3 pages. You got Group A, Group B, and Group C. We're going to draw your logo out of a hat and go, all right, first up, pulling for Team 1 of Group A. Here you go. And then pretty much for the group stage, you're going to know exactly who you're going to be competing against for several weeks in advance. So you are going to know day of when you're playing for the group stage. Then obviously after the group stage is when you're accumulating points, which will determine where you're going to be placed in the elimination bracket. I believe the main difference this year is because we expanded the amount of teams that can play to 18, we ended up changing the rules slightly to where now the bottom 2 teams in the group stage as a whole, so not from each group, but the 2 bottom scores from the group bracket will not make it to the elimination bracket. However, they still get to play 3 matches before then. So it's not like you play 1 match, get moved to the elimination bracket, and then you lose your second match and you're done. You're at least guaranteed 3 matches to try and accumulate scores. So we figured that was a good compromise for trying to increase the number of teams and while still managing our time. So it's going to be a fun time. So yeah, next Saturday, not Saturday, Wednesday. I know what day it is.
Wednesday.
Next week,
Foam Zone,
March 20th at 8 p.m.
On Foam Zone.
On Foam Zone? On the Foam Zone.
Starts with Andrew, a.k.a. Dark Sweep.
And we'll be doing all of that next week. So that, yeah, mark calendars. It's going to be a fun time, and I look forward to being on again next week.
So I was just thinking about this today, and well, first of all, I love that it really is a well-run tournament. You guys do a fantastic job. It is fairly run, and it moves pretty quickly. We just got to pay attention, and it's good. But also, I'm glad that you guys are as good as you are because we're wearing hockey jerseys. I'm going to come out right now and say that there are going to be times that we do not know we get hit because of those jerseys. So call our old asses out. We'll happily accept it. So we're sorry for that inconvenience, but we are trying.
That is what the referees are for. We're going to have 8 referees, just like last year, on the not on the stream, on the field, watching players. We just like last year, we're going to have the majority of them with GoPros for the dispute process, for making all of that simple. So we should have as many of our bases covered as we can while still being volunteers.
Nice.
Have you, I don't know if you mentioned this and I missed it, what game mode is the tournament going to be this year? Is it the same as last year?
It is the same as last year. Still flag dash. We have updated the rules. They've been formatted nicely, and there's a whole glossary to where you can, if you're looking for a specific rule, you can look at the glossary and go, all right, this rule should be under here, and it'll give you the number of whatever it is you need to go to, and you can just search it up that way. So it should be easier to look up rules this year as well. I know last year our rules weren't as well organized, but this year is much better. Very thankful for I think it was the Game Mode Repository who did the initial organization and formatting for us, and then one of our referees, Justin, did a follow-up formatting after all the rule changes. Some of the formatting had gotten messed up just because all the edits that you do.
Yeah.
And he went in and reformatted. So rules look way better this year, and I hope I never have to edit them again.
You will. We'll come up with something to ruin it.
I think, I believe a little birdie in my ear told me the tournament is being live streamed.
Yes, it is.
It is being live streamed by the World Foam Alliance.
Nice. Maybe that's what I'll focus on that. It was a lot of fun. They live streamed the tournament at RAG last year, and they had a guy who was an excellent radio style personality, and they kept bringing in team captains and notable people from the hobby to come in and talk during the tournament and play through it, because not only was it live streamed, but the score was live updated, and you could tell what the score was for the two teams as it was playing. It was pretty cool. So this will be another one. Seeing this one live streamed will be neat for all those people that couldn't make it. So that's pretty cool. One of the things I love, another thing that I love about what?
No, go ahead. I was gonna say they're also planning interviews, same kind of format to talk to people. But go ahead, brother. What do you got?
Bring in interviews. One of the cool things again about Nerf, and when we mentioned earlier, was variety. Every tournament that I've ever been to has had slightly different rules, and it keeps it interesting. So some do flag dash, some do capture the flag, some do control point, some do, something else. And that's just, it's neat how much variety there is.
I think also then, so back with the tournament. So yeah, we will be streaming it. World Foam Alliance will be streaming the tournament, so you can watch it. Otherwise, if you can make, and the other thing is, if you're coming out for Maryland Mayhem, even if you're not registered for the event, meaning you're not on a team, it doesn't mean that you can come. You can come out and watch. There will be the public can come watch. Am I correct, Neil?
Yes, public can watch, and some of our upper sponsors all have booths that are going to be there. So similar to kind of like BlasterCon, but a lot of our sponsors, one of the perks of being a sponsor is they get to have a booth on Friday as well. And so we have a handful of our sponsors who are all going to have booths on Friday. So come out, check out the sponsors' booths that they'll have, watch the games, enjoy yourselves, have a good time. Yeah, absolutely. Come on out and enjoy watching. I was a ref last year. I'm going to be a ref this year too, obviously. And even though I don't get to play, watching the game is so exciting. And even if I wasn't playing and wasn't reffing, I'd still probably come and watch the game.
Yeah, there was
I have a booth, right?
I have no idea.
Although our booth might be full of broken old guys.
That's probably where I'll be hanging out. There were a couple of people that were kind of, I saw a few raised eyebrows concerning the convention being on the last day, since a lot of the merchants sell HVZ blasters, which by that point it's too late. The HVZ is over. But if some of them can get in on the Friday thing, then there's your chance to buy some HVZ ready blasters the day before, which is never a good idea. You should be familiar with your equipment. But that's cool. That's going to be the combination. That's the thing. Another thing I love about these big events is that there's a little bit of something for everyone. There's the stuff for the competitive people, stuff for the HVZ people, stuff for the casual war people, all in one event. Which is nice because not everyone's into HVZ, not everyone's into competitive, not everyone's into to casual play. But whatever you're into, Nerf-wise, it's there somewhere.
Or you're friends with Maritime Foam and he drags you into everything anyways.
About that. I was going to say, there was an interesting conversation about moving the convention because last year we had it on Friday, the same time as the tournament, and a lot of feedback we got was the tournament overshadowed the convention, right? And now obviously the convention was something that we hadn't put as much planning into as we had the other two events. So this year we wanted to fix it. We were looking at the feedback from the vendors from last year, what people were wanting, and like you said, like people like doing the convention early. But like, since we had the tournament on Friday and we didn't want to move the tournament to Sunday because
then you'd be completely wiped out by the HVZ. Yeah.
Exactly. So what we've seen a lot is tournament players will either go take it really easy at HVZ, which is fine, or skip HVZ entirely. And we wanted them to be able to get the most out of the weekend as possible. So we're trying to keep the tournament on Friday. So that way it's the very first thing you do. You're coming in fresh. You're ready to go for the tournament. Then you have the HVZ, and then there's a relaxing day. And while, yes, some people have to travel back on Sunday, I do believe I just posted this today, so I should know this, for the BlasterCon, that opens up at, I want to say 9:30 on Sunday. I'm going to double check this right now. 10 a.m., excuse me. So BlasterCon opens at 10 a.m., so even people who have afternoon flights on Sunday can still try to get into the vendor hall. Because I know several people were like, hey, I've got a flight at like 5, 4, 3 o'clock. I'm like, well, here, we are going to try to open it up as early as possible. We were able to get it all the way back into 10 a.m. for the BlasterCon. So you can come in, enjoy a little bit of time at the BlasterCon before you have to fly home. And again, this is only our second official time doing Maryland Mayhem. A third if you count the unofficial one where we threw on 11th hour at the last minute, which is how it got its name. So we're still learning. We're still figuring out the best way to run things. And what I've been telling some of the tournament players who have critiques or feedback for me about the process that we've done so far, it's like, take that information, put it into the feedback survey. We will look at that. We will consider things for next year because I know there was a pre-registration that returning teams got to do to where they got a extra week to sign up for the tournament as a returning team. Pretty much we plan on doing this going forward, but the restrictions for what you had to be for a returning team, a lot of people had issues with because you had to have the returning captain and 3 additional team members. That was the conclusion that we came to of what should equal a returning team because we didn't want it to be a situation where the team captain decides, you know what, I'm not working with you guys anymore. I'm going to get my own team. And it's just the team captain and it's essentially a whole new team. So we were trying to keep it as fair as possible as to what qualifies as a returning team. And we got a lot of feedback about that and critiques. And like I've been trying to tell them, any information, put in the feedback form. We want to hear back. If there are things we can improve on, we want to hear it. And we look at it, we take it seriously. And I highly recommend any issues or suggestions even that anybody watching might have for, even though the event hasn't happened yet, but things leading up to the event, what could be more helpful? What could be more useful? What do you think would benefit the community as a whole that we could do going forward. We want to hear about it in the feedback forums, which usually come out the week or so after the event. And yeah, that's been my response to any critique so far, is just be like, take that info, put it in the feedback forum. I can't do anything about it right now, for the most part, but put it in the feedback forum.
There's a proper channel for filing your complaints.
Well, here's my feedback form. Isn't Al the Geek up next or soon for a featured sponsor on Instagram?
I'm working through the list. They keep giving me other things to do.
Oh, that's okay. As long as I'm on the list, I'm good.
You are on the list. I've been working my way through the sponsor content. Oh, yes, for anybody watching, if you're wondering who does the social media posting for the Maryland Mayhem or the Maryland Foam Alliance, it's usually me. I will say shout out to Lex, one of the UMBC mods. Any of the HVZ specific social posts, those are done by them. They're great and been super helpful in keeping the social media going, so I don't pull my hair out. So pretty much it's either going to be Lex if it's UMBC related, or it's going to be me if it's any of the other events or the weekend as a whole. So if you have any complaints about the social media, those are all me. Feedback form directly about me.
There it is, feedback form. No, man, I think you're doing an amazing job. It's like for most of this, it's not like this is our full-time gig. We have full-time lives, and then we try to do as much as we can on the side. So yes, we try to do it properly. We try to do it correctly, and you guys do a fantastic job. I think also what people should know or get to mention, part of the success of Maryland Mayhem so far is the mod team, is the fact that there is that core group, 4 of you, and the 4 of you are able to get along very well, listen to one another, put your egos aside, and come together. And really, that's what the core of the community is. But then also, that's what really helps to put together an event like this, where it doesn't have to be my event, your event, it's his event. No, man. Figure it out in terms of what's best for the community, big picture. And so far, you guys are doing very well at it. So I want to congratulate you on that, but also thank you for it. So that's why people like myself, Captain Xavier, with the World Foam Alliance, we are all in and throwing everything we have to support you guys and make sure it happens. Well, also it's my backyard, so clearly it benefits me that way. But I can tell you this: if you guys were crap, man, yeah, I wouldn't be throwing money at you. I'd be like, yeah, maybe I'll show up. So the backyard thing is convenient, but not the main driving factor. So it's like when you put out sponsorships and you got Out of Darts, you have Containment Crew, 3D Printed Solid, you have Foam-demic, you have everybody just lining up and say, yeah, man, what do you need? I'm in. You have Dart Zone. You have Dart Zone, for God's sakes. Dart Zone shows up. Dart Zone, like as important as we think we are to like the major manufacturers, we are like a flea in terms of size-wise, in terms of actually how much money they rely on us to make. So the fact that they're actually sending us something is amazing, and clearly you guys are doing something right. So again, props to you and the admin team, and we just try to help you as much as we can, because it also helps that this is so much fun.
So you only say that because you're not in the group chat where we do disagree sometimes.
Well, that's going to happen.
It just looks like we all get along.
Well, that's key also. You can't all be a bunch of yes men where it's like, yes, 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 yes. As long as you can disagree, as long as you listen to one another and there's compromise.
Yeah,
right.
I love that there's more
Yeah.
than just the one event, because for years End War was the only big event. Either you went to End War or you didn't go to a big event. And then RAG started up, and then now we've got Maryland Mayhem, and someday we hope to get something here in the Pacific Northwest. Survival Fest, there's plenty of invitationals, but we're getting more of that large-scale multi-event thing where it's got the tournament, it's got the expo, it's got the war, it's got the HVZ all in one weekend. It's cool that there's more of that.
By the way, I have a potential name if you guys come up with something in
fun.
Pacific Northwest. Just before I forget, then we'll go back to you, just in case. Rumble in the Rainforest.
It sounds damp.
Because it is. That's all you say all the time.
Well, so does the Northwest.
Yes, well, you're not wrong. It is a rainforest.
Rumble, but
Go ahead, Neil. Talk. It's rained every year at Maryland Mayhem. It rained at HPC last year. It rained 2 years at 11th hour.
See, this is why my loadout this year involves a raincoat. That duster in my cowboy loadout is actually just a raincoat that vaguely looks like a duster. Because there were no cheap dusters, but there was a cheap duster raincoat on Amazon. So I will have an absolute proper raincoat this year, and the water falling from the sky shall not hinder my Nerf.
Ooh,
We should also have
man.
more. We should have more canopies this year too. Maryland Foam Alliance, I believe, is bringing 5 canopies this year, as opposed to what we brought in the past. So there should be a bit more cover for people this year, as well. Is the hope?
Can people bring their own?
But we'll have to see how that day.
Oh,
Yeah,
did,
people brought their own last year too. Containment crew brought one and then left it with me. He's like, "You want a canopy?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "All right, here you go. I'm not taking this on the flight with me." Or in the car. I guess because his isn't as far as the travel. That's how my local group ended up with a 3rd canopy.
I think
we are very grateful for that
extra canopy. If you build, have you submitted stuff, any of your stuff to Show Me the Modded thing yet, Al?
No, I really need to, and I keep forgetting to do it. I know.
This guy.
Well, how about I do it this way? By me not submitting, it gives opportunity for others that may not be as well known as me to showcase their stuff.
No good.
All right, fine. I'll submit.
I don't buy it.
You
gotta inspire people.
I'll submit it.
Show them what they're supposed to be aspiring to. The beard game is strong tonight. There's good beard.
It is.
That's right. It is. Look at that. Check it out, man. Beards all around. This is cool. What was it? What did I
still get people asking me how do you do that? How do you get that? And like that's old age and stress. Like, I'm not bleaching my beard, you twink.
For the record, you heard it now. He actually uses a marker, but his mirror is off. So again,
that's why it's slightly off center.
Get Captain Xavier a better mirror.
That the white in my beard is not centered enough.
Meanwhile, the what's left of my black is not centered enough and shows up all over the place.
I'm just lucky.
I'll catch up with you soon enough.
Yeah,
I've got a bit of gray going down the middle right now, but just a little bit right now.
I'm glad I did not inherit my grandfather's beard on my mother's side, because apparently it was genuinely patternless calico. So
wow.
A bit of red, a bit of white, a bit of brown, a bit of black, a bit of just no pattern. Apparently it looked horrific. And the small town in Illinois where he lived, there was a weird city ordinance that all men had to have a beard for the 4th of July. Like you get fined if you didn't have a beard on the 4th of July, because America's weird sometimes. And the city would actually take up a collection to pay his fine so that he would shave, because it was scaring the children.
That's amazing.
All right, you won best anecdote of the night tonight.
I've got a lot of anecdotes about my mother's father. He was a captain under Patton in World War II, but then went on to be a school superintendent.
Oh my!
Oh, that is some wild stories. So, and he had nothing but daughters that gave him nothing but grief.
Of course, this is life sometimes. Interesting enough, so my beard, before I went gray, man, it was, and again, my hair before I lost it, it was straight black. And then in my beard, it was ridiculous how much brown, red, and blonde I had it mixed in with the black, where it was still dark, but there was so much of that in it. And it'd be funny because especially like my nieces, they'd all come up and I'll be pulling on my beard or my goatee at that point before I left the beard in. and they'd be looking at all the different colors. And so they were the first ones, surprisingly, to go grays and whites, were all the other colors. And now the black ones finally gave up, and soon I will be Santa Claus. But in the meantime, what do we got?
Apparently, we got a caller. Somebody wants to talk to us. I'd forgotten that we still did that. Nobody calls in. Can we get this caller in here? Are they here? Are you there? Hello?
Someone answered the phone?
Hello, guys.
Who are you? What do you want?
Hello, are you there?
No.
Hey, this is CR Nerve. How are you?
Yo!
Hey, buddy, what's going on, man?
Hey, first-time caller, long-time listener.
Neat. You got a question?
That's
what do you
awesome.
want?
Yes. What do
You
you
going
got,
to be at
buddy?
Maryland Mayhem? Talk!
Yes, I plan to be at Maryland. I'm hoping to get to
Excellent.
meet all of you guys and buy you a beer.
Well, I don't drink alcohol, but I'll take a root beer.
I'll buy you a
I'll take
Shirley
his beer.
Temple.
I'm more of a vodka man myself.
Give me a root beer float. We'll call it even.
Oh, that'll work. I had a question for Neil. I was just curious how long you've been in the hobby.
How did you get into the hobby?
Yeah, Neil, tell us.
Explain yourself.
Oh, me? Oh, this story.
The other Neil.
I got into the hobby pretty much at the same time that I got married back in 2015, because me and my then fiance were doing shopping at Target one day for wedding supplies, and we happened to go through the blaster aisle, and it's like, all right, hey, let's both pick one. And so we both picked one, and we started plinking around our little space with the blasters, and we were having fun with that. And then we got married. It's actually one of our wedding photos is both of us posing with blasters back to back. We have a big picture of it actually framed up in our stairwell. It's one of my favorites.
Love it.
And then after we got married, we still were just plinking around the house with the blasters. And then it turned into, hey, let's get some more. And then we got more. And then we invited families, our family, to all play, like my family, to all play with blasters together in my parents' house. And then from there, we moved on to the church I was attending at the time. And I did it with some of my friends at the church building. And that is what eventually became the Maryland Nerf Herders at the time, which would eventually join up with the Maryland Foam Alliance. And it's quite fascinating because it was literally because once you start competing with your friends, it's like, all right, how do I improve my blaster to do better against them? And then the searches into YouTube go, and you find all the old Nerf tubers that were there back in the day. It was 2015, so like at the time it was like Drac, Wacom, Mag 212, Nerf Productions, a bunch of people who no longer make videos anymore.
I didn't start until 2016. Late 2016.
So yeah, it was, and then I did my first mod, which was the Modulus ECS10, and I melted the battery tray on it.
Very good, very good, excellent.
Very good.
I would expect nothing less.
Wait. Modders make no mistakes. What are you talking? We're perfect all the time. No, we're good.
You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And my very first one, I melted the battery tray. So terrible, cheap soldering iron too.
Yeah. Oh Lord, I had no soldering experience when I first got into Nerf. I had a soldering iron, but I didn't realize how crap it was, and I didn't know how to properly use it, and it was an absolute nightmare getting it to work at all. And then someone who actually knew how to solder watched me try to solder, and was like, "What are you doing?" Like,
soldering?
Give me that. And they're like, "Oh no, this tip is completely burned out. You need a new tip." I bought a new tip, and it's suddenly like, wait a minute, the solder is supposed to instantly melt? What the? I usually was like holding it there for like 5 minutes, waiting it for like rubbing it with a stick to get some heat into it.
Friction-based heat.
Friction-based soldering, it was horrific. And now I know.
Does anyone have a lighter?
Like starting a fire. Oh man.
Did he get off our lawn when we went looking? Did he get himself off the lawn?
Yes.
Is he still
He
here?
is.
I think I rambled. I rambled too long.
That's okay, brother, man. Hey, man, I'm glad you're coming out to Mayhem. Looking forward to it. And absolutely,
Yeah.
man, it'll be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should be good.
All right. Do you have any more questions, or can we now kick you off our lawn? Well, you know what? You fall in the category of life. So we'll just ask you to nicely pick another lawn.
Oh man.
Oh,
It's hard
that's
to believe
awesome.
Maryland Erfurter is almost a decade old now, which is weird. Like we are celebrating.
Ready?
Not call
Did we get rid of this one? Is he still here?
Yeah, we lost the
Right.
last one while I was rambling about how I got in.
That's okay. All right, let's go to another caller. Put a pin in
Yeah,
that,
we got
Neil.
another caller. Let's ask more questions. Hello?
Hello?
Who are you? What do you want?
Hello.
Who am I?
Hi, Rick.
Yeah, I'm Andy Work from Australia.
All right, Al,
No,
explain
it's not.
yourself.
It's somebody
Hey.
else, man. He's just impersonating. There's no way an Australian would be awake now at this hour. Who are you? Come on,
Yep.
tell the truth.
What time is it there?
I'm Andy Work from Australia, Al. Bloody smile.
No.
I keep forgetting when this thing's on. How you doing, guys?
Well, we're doing good. What time is it there?
Yeah.
It is 9:21 a.m. in the morning.
Oh,
I was
that's
just about
not
to
bad.
travel
shouldn't you
up
be
to
at
the kids.
work or at school or doing something productive for society?
I thought this was productive for society.
What can we do for you aside for getting Al more grief for not submitting any of his stuff to your channel?
That's right.
Yeah, well, that's the reason I rang in. I was going to tear strips off him. He could stand to lose a bit of weight anyway. But yeah, come on,
Hey,
I
man,
want to see some
just for me
glasses,
to
guys.
love. Come on.
Yeah. That's what I say to my wife, and she just looks at me and sighs. Now, yeah, I'd like to see a lot more blasters submitted by people. I also rang in to say I'll be posting a new playlist on my channel soon. I won't say anything more, but it's Nerf related, is close enough.
Nice.
So look for that soon. Also, Captain Xavier, did you get those side rails off the Valkyrie I sent you?
I did. And they're
Excellent, good.
somewhere.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd be on the blaster.
Step one would be figuring out where I put the rail. I think I know where one of it is. I think it's on the floor just in front of my workbench. I don't know where the other one is. The real question is, where did I put the blaster?
Yeah, that'd be Swamp Cat probably got it.
Probably.
Now, while I've got this forum, I'll just say whoever it was who got the custom blaster off me on Foamsgiving, can you please contact me? I've lost your details, and I've got to get this thing finished and get it to you. I know it's
my
somebody
guy
in the
only
community.
just reached out to me like last week. It's like, I would like that. Like, oh, good.
Yeah. So I need to sort that out. Doing so many other things, it's hard to keep track. Us males are not very good at multitasking. Other than that, I think that's it. We've got, according to my watch here, we've got a minute 20, so we can have a little chat. I will update you on things at this end. Yes, I have a beard. It's nowhere near as grey as Al's or as long as Captain X's.
I recently trimmed mine.
Did you really?
I used to be down to here.
Oh wait. Andy,
God! How many things?
before we lose you, give it the shameless plug in terms of what you do, what people need to submit, and why.
Yeah, who are you? What is
Well,
this thing?
I've taken over Show Me the Modded. I've taken over Feature Fan Builds from Captain Xavier. I've changed the name, which is probably a bad idea. It's now called Show Me the Modded Thing. The email address you can send it to is showmethemoddedthing@gmail.com. photos and a little bit of build details, if you can remember, how you put it together, what you use, paints, whatever. And that's it. And I just want content. I actually have to put one up tomorrow, which means after I get off this phone call, I've actually got to put it together, which is going to be so much fun. I've also got to get out to the shed and do some work on that maelstrom. Now, I'm looking for anything you've done, even if it's just a cosmetic paint job. I really don't care. I just like to share these things with other people. And it's a selfish act on my part because I get so many ideas from the stuff people send in. I have got so many projects on a list. It's not funny. Just to mention a couple, I've got an MA40 I got from my local Goodwill for $2. And I'm going to cut that down into a carbine and put a full auto kit in it. And that's about number 17 on the list. So
right.
If I get to it, I'll get to it. Other than that, I'm doing a few other things. As I said, there'll be a new playlist on my channel soon. I've got to organise it and get it set up, but it is Nerf related in a way. In fact, Captain Al, I'll contact you both independently just to see how you feel about it. I know you really can't say yay or nay for somebody else's YouTube channel, but
we don't care.
It would just be easier doing it this way than it'll be easier this way than creating an entirely new Nerf channel because I've got 2 of them already and it's just getting so confusing. Other than that, I think my time probably run out. It's nice to see you guys again, healthy and everything. And Al, you're getting there. You really are close to having a smile one of these days. I'm really impressed.
I say for in person
I
only.
will say, sorry, what was that?
I saved them for in person only.
Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, I can only imagine it's sort of something across. It's something like a cross between a xenomorph and Lurch from the Addams Family.
The true smile I save for my OnlyFoams. So for $5.99 a month, you can subscribe to my OnlyFoam and you get to see pictures of my real smile. There we go.
Oh, really? I will definitely consider that. Yeah, I'll have to juggle a few things. I might have to cancel my regular insulin injections, but it might be worth it to get a smile out of you. Yeah,
that's right. There it is.
Oh man.
Oh, that's awesome, Andy, brother.
Okay,
thanks for calling in, man. It's always good to hear from you.
Thank you guys for putting up with me, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.
See you, buddy.
Toodles.
So in case y'all missed the message, submit something. Submit something. Submit something. That's awesome.
5 minutes to what?
Yeah, 5 minutes to what? Oh, what time is it? 9:30.
Yeah, just about. At least where I am.
I know, same thing over here, but okay. maybe we're late on our rent. We're being evicted. Actually,
we didn't pay the internet bill.
Actually, you guys suck. You're being canceled.
Oh, really?
It was Talon-X Armory.
Yes.
Oh,
I see.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The call was fine.
I see how it's
got it.
Trying to get rid of it.
So Talon-X, it makes sense because
reached out.
Well, he's right. He just finished his move. I think now he's made it to Nashville. So that's part. I owe him something as well. But he told me, he goes, Al, let me get relocated, and then I'll figure it out. So I think he is now in Nashville, and I think that also puts him in striking distance for Maryland Mayhem. But it also depends on if he gets settled in time.
Let's see. I was gonna say, did you ever get your prizes shipped out, Al? I know you were working on a whole bunch of things from Foamsgiving.
No, because I needed to get through AwesomeCon, and now they're all sitting on my table, and they're all going to go out in the next week, which is fantastic because it's just like so. This is the one thing I am going to promise for next Foamsgiving. I am not promising anything I will build after the event. I'm just going to build everything I'm giving away for the event, have it in boxes, so as soon as they win, There is the label on the box, and it's shipped the next day. Now it's been recorded, it's on video, and yes, for the next Foam's Giving, everything I'm giving away is going to already be done. It's going to be in a box, and as soon as you win, it goes out my freaking door. I promise that, and if I'm lying, y'all can have my address and come kick my ass because I've earned it. So, in my defense, part of it was we tried to get as much stuff out there to get the stream happening.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, all right, I got time. And then life happened. Oh my God, did life happen? And so now I'm behind. And I remember all of you, and I love you all, and you guys are amazing. And I owe you stuff, and I will deliver. But next Foam's Giving, it will be finished, it will be completed, and then I'll give it away.
There you go. That's the smart way. I made the same mistake as you, but I only did one blaster, and it was one of the little micro shot reshell. So it was a much easier project than what you were trying to do.
It's like, holy cow, man. But people have been just absolutely wonderful and understanding, and I plan to send some thank you for being understanding incentives as well. So I will definitely do that, which is great. Which reminds me also, so again, ladies and gentlemen, part of what's going to be happening at Maryland Mayhem is that last year for the live stream, we only had, 4 weeks to put something together and make it happen. Well, this time it's going to be a little different just because we now have a full year. And I can already assure you, we already have some big things being planned for it. One of them is, again, we're going to be giving away, we're actually probably be auctioning off for the live stream. And again, it's going to be another Mark IV. This time it's not going to be a gold one. This time it's actually special edition, a metallic red one that have not been for sale. They were only created for giveaways. The World Foam Alliance has acquired one. You may see it at Maryland Mayhem, because what am I going to be doing with it? I'm going to be going over and getting signatures. Considering all the major influencers and players that are coming, it is the ideal event. So you'll probably get a preview of everyone that's going to sign it, and then I can assure you that will be in the Foam's Giving live stream that we're doing at the end of the year. On the same token, I almost wish I did, but we haven't yet. But we'll see how the weekend goes. Maybe I will also throw in but in addition to, there might be a Mega XXL jersey that we also auction off, and I know. So I am now. I'm on the fence of maybe I'll just get everyone on the team to sign mine, and mine will be the one that goes in the live stream. Unless I love it that much, then I'll say too bad, and I'll give you something else. But these are the ideas running in my head.
I'll say, look at that. Like, you guys want to hear all the vendors we currently have for BlasterCon?
Absolutely.
Nice. So we've got, starting obviously with the obvious one, is the Maryland Foam Alliance is going to have a booth, and we're going to have 3 brand new patches that we're going to have available. If anyone knows me, you know how much I love patches. But yeah, so we're going to have 3 new patch designs for that are going to be available at Maryland Mayhem. We're also obviously going to have Foamdemic, who will also have a booth. They have 3D printed blasters. Wonderful person. We also have 3D printed Solid, who's going to be there. Out of Darts has a vendor booth. Silverfox Industries, Dart Zone will have a booth. Containment Crew, Frontline Foam, Saber. One of my local players just recently became he's a new local player. He became a U.S. distributor for Saber. So that is how we ended up with Saber as a vendor, which that was a cool surprise. He was like brand new to the area too. He was like, oh yeah, and I'm also a U.S. distributor for Saber. I'm like, okay. That's cool. Obviously, and we're actually going to have very close together because I'm the one planning out the vendor locations. I have Al and the World Foam Alliance pretty much right next to each other. So you should be able to find both of those two in the same spot. We've also got Xbox Games. We've got Survival Fest 2024. They are also, they're one of our sponsors, and they are going to be a vendor there, because I know I'm excited for Survival Fest this year. I'll be there. We've got Cobalt Designs. They do a lot of cool stuff. Silly Butts will be a vendor. Nice. Gavin Fuzzy's going to be a vendor. He just showed off some special edition B cars that he's going to have available at Maryland Mayhem. They're like a purple to blue fade or blue to purple fade on the B car is very nice. We've also got Griffins and more. Obviously, they sell calibers. They sell Griffins. The Foam Moose Coalition has a booth because I believe KT is going to be there again.
Nice.
Moose Mod Shop will be there, and Roboman Automations will be there. And there is also a mystery vendor, which I'm not allowed to say anything about, but there are a couple of question marks on the page.
Oh wow, a mystery vendor. I
Someone said
know who
something in
that
my
is.
ear, but I didn't hear it.
Don't worry, I got it. I'll just follow. Hold on, mystery.
You know who
I'm
that
not
is?
done on mystery vendor. Mystery vendor is going to be Captain Xavier, and he's just going to be selling his paw prints, his handprints that he has signed. Oops, was I not supposed to say that?
No, it's not even going to be pictured. He's just going to dip his hand in ink and just like press it on their forehead like Saruman.
Yes.
The orange hand.
The orange hand of Xavier. Just go forth and be a zombie. Okay, now I really want to do that.
Yes.
We're going to do that.
So yes, if you want to find out what the mystery vendor is going to be, you're just going to have to come to Maryland Mayhem and find out. But it's going to be very cool.
I'll just keep dropping hints. It's actually Staples. They're going to provide you all the all the products you need to keep track of events and scores. It's Staples.
I bet it's
They're selling staple guns.
Hasbro's going to show up.
Yeah, just to say, what are we doing here? You people suck. Oh, I just got laid off.
Oh no, they fired me. Now, did I hear in my ear something about a Nexus?
Yes, let me tell you about that, man. Dartzone's
assume
going to
it's
have the
the
Nexus.
The new
The
Nexus?
new Nexus. So, by the way, the new Nexus, we got to see it at AwesomeCon. AwesomeCon, Dartzone was there. I was there, obviously. And we actually did have a Nexus in-house. It was the new one. This thing is sweet, dude. For $50,
Nice.
man, and everything that it does, performance. Andrew was all over it. And in fact, I think I actually had to distract him to finally pry it out of his hands just to try it a couple of times, man. But that thing is sweet, dude. Never mind the fact that performance, the interchangeability of the actual scar barrels.
Sure.
Never mind someone will probably ask me in chat, but I love the fact that with the plunger tube, it is offset like this. So I can't remember what exactly that is. There'll be more information. Someone will explain it, but it is an offset plunger tube, which actually increases performance. Never mind on the outside, the actual print or the actual coloring is not a sticker or paint. It's actually new to the industry. It is 3D printed. So the artwork is actually a 3D printed paint on the outside of the blaster. So it is kind of textured because you do have the landscape of it, depending on the different colors as it's built. Dude, it is a cool freaking thing. It will be on display at the Dart Zone booth at Maryland Mayhem.
Very cool.
Yes. Was that
I'm
enough?
seeing a
plugs?
lot
You think
about
so?
them, and I'm. That's what Andrew told me to do. He says, he's like, Neil, I need you to come on the stream, promote Maryland Mayhem. I'm like, I can do that. Mission success.
Well, it's just so they don't think Captain and I are lying or not telling the truth about this.
Yes.
So I
now
have a
they can
question
think
about-
I'm lying or not telling the truth about something.
I've got a question about Maryland Mayhem. Why Wild
All
West
right.
themed? You're east of the Mississippi. What are you doing? Stay in your lane.
That's a UMBC question. As stated earlier, I have no responsibility or control over the UMBC side of things.
I know the
Yourself
answer.
anyway.
I reject all responsibility.
I know
All right,
the
Al.
answer.
What's the answer?
They have a hidden camera in your compound. They knew you were doing a Wild West loadout and they
Ugh.
jumped the gun, man. Be
Those
careful and make
fiends.
sure to wear pants.
What?
Hey, look, people had to go out west from somewhere. They had to start here to go out west.
Didn't they start in St. Louis?
Well, here's the
Close
thing.
enough.
I played the Oregon Trail, man.
There, well, if you all would put Rumble and the Rainforest together, that'd be west of the Mississippi, and therefore we can do Wild West. But in the meantime, since that hasn't happened, we're just, you know what I mean, just picking up the ball where you guys haven't picked up and run with it yet. So
No,
let's go
we're
with
too
that
far
excuse.
west. You have to be west of the Mississippi, but east of the Rocky Mountains.
And now I'm hearing all kinds of excuses. There's going to be one place, and we'd love to do it, but we can't because there's no venue there because technically it's 2 degrees off by latitude, so it's not the Wild West. And then you know what? Then instead, never mind. First one in the Pacific Northwest. The theme is going to be the Donner Pass, the Donner Party. There we go for a zombie.
No. We're gonna do a Plymouth Rock themed HVC.
No, man, the Donner Party. Everyone eats everybody anyways.
Oh my goodness.
Plymouth Rock. Tell me the Plymouth Rock one. Then it's a Donner Party.
Yeah, Plymouth Rock. Or a Washington D.C. themed one. It'll all be about the monuments.
There it is.
We'll do a Roanoke Colony themed HVZ.
Oh man.
Actually, maybe Pacific Northwest. We'll do a Bigfoot themed HVZ.
Yeah,
Once
there
you
we
get
go.
shot, you're not a zombie. You're a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
There
It will
you
be
go.
Pacific Northwest cryptids. It'll be Coyote, Bigfoot, and Raven, and it'll just be a nightmare.
Can I get wings and be a Mothman?
Yeah, there you go. Isn't that Ohio?
He's got wings. He can fly far enough. Come on. Oh, this is gonna be fun, man. Anything else you want to? So again, just to reiterate what Neil was talking about earlier. So next Wednesday on Foam Zone with Andrew, aka Dart Sweep, we are going to have the actual drawing for the tournament, meaning that we're going to have captains on. Neil will also be on there as well, but possibly another admin from Maryland Mayhem. The event will all be about Maryland Mayhem, but more specifically, we will be doing the drawing for the actual pro tournament that's happening on Friday. We'll have various team captains that'll show up as well, where there will be a drawing. So officially, you'll know who is facing off against who. We promise not to rig it because otherwise Cap and I would rig it where we'd be out in the first 3 games so we can all just sit around, be lazy, and watch. But if we end up in a favorable position, it hasn't been rigged in our favor. In fact, it's been, we'll show you old guys, you're going to run.
Mega XL gets
turns
the
out you
bye
guys'
until
first
the
couple of
final
matches.
round. Oh man.
Go ahead, Neil.
Let's say, your first couple of matches, you're going to have Team Smog, Nebula. Oh, no, that isn't it. You have Nebula, Nebula East, Magic Smoke. First 3 matches. For Nebula International.
Dauntless, Crimson Tide.
Right.
Maybe we'll do that. All right.
Oh, man.
Let's open the phone lines again. Who would you like to see Team Mega Double XL face off against? That way we can rig it. I mean, properly select. I mean, it's a random selection. But anyways, call in again if you have any other questions. Who would you like to see Team Mega Double XL face off against, or other questions? We'll field other questions. But then we might just listen to your question and then answer and say that's a great question. However, I think Team Mega Double XL should.
Have
face
you
off against.
considered?
Why, yes, the Dart Zone the Max Solo is a great blaster, but who is your favorite player on Mega Double XL? This is the biggest question.
Now, see, the matchup I really want to see, and I know they're not playing in MFT this year. I want to see Team Mega Double XL versus Team Fox Ups.
No, that would. No, there we go.
I'm not sure who they are, but I'll trust your judgment.
It's the Pacific Northwest team.
Oh, nice.
That's Silver Fox Industries, and I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Sergeant
That's on their team
Deplorable,
too, right?
Luchathor,
Luchathor.
Isaac.
Oh, that'd be a lot of fun, man. Quick, someone make a phone call. Can we just do an exhibition game? And that way we'll just play for about 15 minutes and then all right, we're out.
Game.
You all carry on.
Was there a caller? Was that what was going on, or are we waiting for a caller?
No, the phone lines are open again for the last round before we end. So now we're waiting for someone to call in. If they want to call in and actually talk to us. Yes.
Talk to us.
I would say,
Oh, we got one. Speak of the devil.
get him.
Who do we got?
We got
Stuntnet from Michigan again.
You again.
Hi, it's Stuntnet
Hey.
from Michigan again.
Right.
Hey,
so
what's
who's
going
your
on,
favorite member
Hey.
of Mega XL, and why is it me?
So, so my question is for all 3 of you, and I hope it's appropriate. But if you were in a real zombie apocalypse, what melee weapon would you choose? You can only have one.
Titanium crowbar.
Okay.
It's light. It's strong. It can bash in heads, and in a pinch, it'll open a door.
There you go.
I was thinking, if we're doing titanium, I'm going to say a titanium spear, probably about 6 feet.
Does anybody
I
actually
feel like
make
I gotta
titanium
commit to the
spears?
bit. And
I'm sure I could get one.
Well, considering zombie apocalypse technically isn't real, so you know what? A titanium spear is real as well.
You didn't say we had to
Okay, there you go.
acquire it. I'm gonna go with a lightsaber.
I was gonna say,
Wait a
Yes,
minute.
please.
Wait a minute.
This is my offhand.
I think I'm just gonna
Destroyer.
commit. I'm just gonna commit to the bit, chop my own hand off, and attach a chainsaw to it.
Chainsaw. There you go. My
Oh,
second.
okay.
If I couldn't go titanium and crowbar, I would go a warhammer, a medieval style warhammer.
Okay.
Again,
Does
the ultimate for bashing
hold
in
an edge?
zombies.
Does titanium hold an edge, like for a spear?
Yes.
All right, let me refrain from that. Some kind of metal
Okay.
spear that's solid but light enough that it won't snap it on
I mean, you
something
could-
or someone.
It doesn't necessarily need to be sharp. It's not going through armor. It's going through a squishy, partially rotten person. You could go with an aluminum spearhead.
Oh, so here's something I've always wondered on the same thing for the zombie
Chainsaw.
apocalypse. Caller, there you go. See, chainsaw. I love it. Is that you don't want to actually need firearms. Actually, as long as you can get your blasters up to 300 FPS, and then just metal tip some of your darts, or just you can put that through gooey flesh on close range.
Well, if it needs to go through, it needs to go through bone though. If it's going to destroy the brain.
Fine, we'll put thumbtacks on the end of it.
Oh, there you go. As long as a single
Yeah, so you
puncture
have to hit
wound, the zombie just falls over. Like,
Head
oh, I was expecting it to be more resilient for some reason.
a little too
Oh,
wimpy.
man.
Little too wimpy.
What about you,
I
buddy?
think
What
they
would you
did
do?
on. I would do the same thing. I would do a spear. Absolutely a spear. Didn't think it out as far as titanium one. Just any kind of sharpened broomstick, so you could keep stuff away from you.
Yes.
But I
Jump
think
on the
they
Captain
did on
bandwagon.
Mythbusters. On Mythbusters, they did a thing.
Oh,
Oh,
man down! I want to know
Wait,
it was
you know
on
what?
Mythbusters. Put it in the chat.
damn it. Oh, on the same token, although you think about it, and this is probably the great thing about our hobby, is that in the unlikelihood of an actual zombie apocalypse, someone will figure out how to take some kind of dart blaster and put zombie lethal ammo in it, which would actually function and take out hordes.
Years ago, back when we were still doing HVZ at WSU before I even had a YouTube channel, they did a little student-made film where the apocalypse turned out to be real, but for some bizarre reason, the thing that the zombies were susceptible to was rubber-tipped foam darts for some bizarre reason. That was the secret weapon that could kill the zombies, and they just ran with it, and it was hilarious. And somewhere on the internet, probably, if you searched long enough, you might be able to find it. There's video of me at the first ever WSU committing the most heinous of war crimes. just executing students for not answering questions they didn't have the answers to. I look over, there's the WSU news crew filming me. You're like, well, there goes my political career.
It's ruined. It is over.
Because this would come up. Somebody would find this video. Like, he's a psychopath.
Seriously. So that'll be the solution to the zombie apocalypse. Just follow the YouTube channel. We'll come up with the. We can't do it now because some dummy will do it and then kill people. But once the zombie apocalypse comes out, tune into Captain Xavier about a month later, and he will show you how to make lethal ammo for all your dart blasters to take out zombie hordes.
Look, if you haven't figured it out by then, I'm just gonna let the zombies have you. The scariest thing in any HVZ and in any zombie apocalypse is not the zombies, it's the stupid humans.
Yes.
They will get you killed.
Why do I feel like somehow Cap will figure out how to make his smart gun feed and shoot like marbles, which would be devastating?
He would turn his whole arena just into a zombie maze where, like, they'll start walking into his arena. He's got all the screens pulled down, and they're just like bumping from screen to screen, trying to figure out how to get out.
That couldn't be done.
Actually, he
worried
could
like
because
a deer is going to get trapped in there and just shred the place trying to get out. Hasn't been a problem yet.
why does Captain Xavier always have venison? Well,
Captain Xavier always has venison because his second youngest sister always shoots deer and brings in venison. There is currently venison in my freezer.
Ooh.
That's a better story, but I like the one of getting trapped in your maze and suddenly it's like, whoa, I got meat again.
Where'd that come from? I don't know. I put cyanide in the pears. Some deer always nibbling on my pears.
Oh man.
Oh, this is
Swamp
ridiculous.
Cat likes
And
to
I
chase
absolutely
Casually
love it.
forgets one day, pulls a
Well, I've seen some of Cap's neighbors. I'm surprised some of them haven't got trapped in his maze yet.
Trashy people. Just trash.
Let's see, do you still have that like haunted shed in your yard?
Oh yeah, there's still a crypt. There is a crypt on my property. I still haven't figured out what to do with it. What do you do with an old crypt?
Well, first you got to find an old priest, and then a young priest.
Yeah, it's got no floor. The door rotted off. It's yeah.
You did not
Like,
go in there.
what are you gonna?
No.
I considered turning it into a guest house for the guest you don't want to stay. You know, a mother-in-law cottage. You know, just inside there's no floor. There's just looks like the mountain came for the truck that was in there. You put a cot in there and a roll of paper towels, and when you say like here's your room. When the walls start bleeding, just use the paper towels. You'll be fine. What? Apparently, we're looking for dad jokes. Why is root beer served in a square glass? Because then it's just beer.
Yeah, for the record, he handed me a sleeping bag and directed me to the crypt. I was smart enough to follow Anthony instead. So
it's there at the end of the range. Just take a right. We'll hang a tarp over
that's
the
the part of the property where Swamp Cat walks on two legs.
There's I've heard wild boar down there. I've seen some kind of a weasel like creature. I had a possum just drop dead in my yard. There's goblins living in my shrub. It's wacky stuff here, man.
it's fun, man.
Like an episode of Gravity Falls.
Swamp Cat will occasionally give the fae on my yard a ride, but then she can't come inside without an invitation, so she'll just open the door, she'll just sit there looking at me until I invite her in, and then she'll come in and like, you fool no one.
It is true, man. She is something else. I'm glad she kind of likes us.
There's little windows on my front door, and she will sit there staring into them, and the light from the inside will just light up her eyes. So you have a black silhouette that looks to the world like a goblin with glowing yellow eyes sitting at the door. Like, gah! Just freak more than one person out, and they look over and just
I'm just glad I didn't wake up in the middle of the night to see her with her claw at my throat like this.
She brings a snake in, just leaves it in a sleeping bag. He'll do the rest. She does hunt snakes.
Yep.
That's her favorite thing to kill and to play with are snakes.
Oh, this is funny. Yeah, Neil, if you ever get the chance and the invite, go out to Captain X's house.
Uninvited, just up here.
You know what? I work from home. I'll be here most likely.
Probably, yes. Oh, that is funny. Awesome. All right, before we wrap it up, Neil. Yeah, it's true. He's one of the same nice people in Vader.
All right, yeah, let's bring it all together. Neil, there's a thing you're part of? It's a shindig, a palaver of some kind, a get together. One might go so far as to say a hootenanny. You want to plug it?
Absolutely. It is Maryland Mayhem, April 19th through the 20th in Maryland, mainly around the UMBC campus. 3 locations, but all within pretty close proximity to the BWI airport. That is our tournament, HVZ, and casual play. It'll be a fun time, and BlasterCon. It'll be a great time, a lot of fun, put on by UMBC and the Maryland Foam Alliance. Wonderful people. I know them very well.
Everyone who's a no one will be there.
Absolutely. No, quite literally. I've been telling people from the responses I'm getting from people, and I've told people I'm expecting between 400 to 700 combatants on Saturday. But anyways, go ahead, Neil.
For more information, go to marylandfoamalliance.com/Maryland-Mayhem. And that is where you'll get all of your information. You can also like their Facebook page, their Instagram, join their Discord, all that stuff. But the majority of the information is going to be on the website. So
and you guys have
go there. Get registered.
Yes. Register, and also hotel recommendations.
We're over 200 now.
As well?
Yes, we do have hotel recommendations also on the website. Locations, times, hotel recommendations, all of that right on the website. For all of your attention onto the website, you pretty much just click the icon of where you want to go to. So if you want information about Maryland Foam Tournament, you click the Maryland Foam Tournament icon. You want information about 11th Hour, you click the 11th Hour icon. You want to become a vendor, you click the word vendor at the top, and that'll take you to where all of our vendors are, and you can be a vendor. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun. And if you don't show up, you're going to be feeling that FOMO real bad.
Yeah, you will. You got to go. And also, mystery vendor has been filled. The only way you get to be a mystery vendor, you better be some kind of large corporation with a lot of money to buy our silence. So just shut up and let us know you're coming. And again, Neil, your own shameless plug. Where can people find all the crazy and wonderful stuff you do?
You can find me as Boomstick Mods pretty much everywhere. I'm Boomstick Mods on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm technically on TikTok, but I haven't posted there in a very long time. But yeah, pretty much if I'm on it, I'm going to be called Boomstick Mods, and that's where you can find me.
That's awesome. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, just to let you know, Maryland Mayhem coming up. You can find all the information just like Neil told you. Also, next Wednesday on Foam Zone with Andrew, a.k.a. Dart Sweep. The World Foam Alliance will be doing the live tournament drawing for the actual seeding of the tournament. We will have teams on. Boomstick Mods will be back as well, possibly one of the other admins. We'll have team captains and other special guests, and it will be a live drawing for the tournament on Friday. You want to see who's in it? You want to see who's being seeded and where you're going to end up playing? Maybe you're in it. Maybe you just want to watch it. Tune in next Wednesday, Foam Zone. World Foam Alliance presents the actual live drawing for the tournament. That's going to be happening at Friday of Maryland Mayhem. Other than that, I do believe, well, I should have checked first before I asked him, because I haven't done an episode of The Forge in forever, and you all can hate me for that and be angry. It is justified, but I've been busy with conventions, meeting people out in public, which actually met a bunch of people. But anyways, side note, Cap, do you have an episode of The Range for tomorrow or not yet?
I do. I filmed it earlier today. I will upload it as soon as I get off of here. So there will be a range. I will also have the survey for the next. What do you want to see next time? Really good. This was a fun one. I enjoyed the one today. So yeah.
That's fantastic. And again, for those that don't know, for Maryland Mayhem, if you can't make it out to the event, although we encourage you to make it, and fine, if you don't make it, we'll tell you, the World Foam Alliance will be streaming Maryland Mayhem. We will be streaming the tournament on the Friday. There will be interviews. We'll be covering gameplay. We'll try to bring as much of it to you as you can. And also, as I mentioned before, at Maryland Mayhem, this one time, only time, we will actually have all members of the World Foam Alliance will actually be at Maryland Mayhem. Men Behind the Curtain, ourselves, Anthony, Sophie Lightning, Dart Sweep, all of us will be there. We might tell you who we are. We might not tell you who we are. Point is, we're all going to be there. We are taking this event very seriously, and we're going to be streaming. And again, we have a booth so we can answer all your questions. Maryland Mayhem, Maryland Mayhem. Again, worldfoamalliance.org. Be sure to register. Be sure to register so we know where to find you. Subscribe to our universe. Subscribe to our universe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to share. Don't forget to hit that like button. The more likes, the more shares we get, the bigger our YouTube channel gets, the bigger our reach gets, the more we can do for you. Again, hit that share, hit the like, share, like. Take your parents' phones, take your friends' phones, take your wife's phone, hit subscribe. Maybe it's legal. I don't know. I don't care. You call a lawyer. I don't know what I'm doing. Just share and like everything.
He's gone mad with power. Someone cut him off.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun as always. Much love to everyone. Go fling some foam. Go have some fun. Can't wait to see you on Wednesday. We'll be back in 2 weeks again. And we'll see you soon. Get off my lawn, everybody.
Get off my lawn.